Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. I am Richard. I'm going to have a drink, and we're going to talk about religious stuff. Because I need to use up this drinking stuff. And I just happened to run across something particularly religious. It's also morning in the Garden of Good and Evil, which means it's really late at night, but I'm nocturnal, so I'm up at night. I'll probably post this around 6 o'clock on a Monday or a Friday, but that's not the point. For every 1,000 subscribers, I gotta do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. If you'd like your world to be better, comment, like, and subscribe. Now, indeed. I need a place to put my spoon. There we are. Spoon. Now, some years ago, I ran across a list of jokes and quotes. It wasn't even on a proper website. It was on a very bare bones kind of a website. And a lot of these quotes were religious. Few of them were from random people. And, you know, some of them were quite bad. But I started creating blog posts out of those quotes. This was back maybe 2010, I think. And I just started popping them, you know, filling in space on my blogs. I have a lot of blogs. I have too many blogs. I mean, I've got Random Street Theater, the blog, and I had a lot of empty space on that. So I just, you know, every new blog post meant that I got to fill in and post the thing on YouTube or post the thing on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now and share it. So, I mean, I had just hundreds of quotes, thousands maybe. And I sat there and I made quote after quote after quote into a blog post, and I posted it and I pumped it out and just filled in all this empty space. I think there are like years that are just nothing but that. This was before I started Richard's Daily Quote, mind you. And Richard's Daily Quote is a blog where I basically take quotes that I find anywhere that I can verify the source. Like, you know, I quote Bernie Sanders, and I quote Jimmy Kimmel, and I quote Ryan Macbeth, and all kinds of people. And I put the quote together in a graphic and make that a blog post, you know? Something I do. But then, here I had these religious quotes. Now, I'm not a religious man. You know, but I'm going over all these old quote posts and I'm making them into shorts for YouTube. Some of them are on this channel. Most of them are on my channel, Letters to Cassie and other folks. And Letters to Cassie has a very interesting collection of my YouTube nature. For one, most of my book reviews, or all of my book reviews, quite frankly, show up on Letters to Cassie. So that's that. And that they're supposed to. They're made as a YouTube video first, and then they're posted as a blog post for Letters to Cassie. I'm using them to fill in empty space. I have a lot of blog posts, so, you know, a lot of books to read. And, I mean, I have enough books presently. I believe I have enough books that if I started reading right now, I don't believe I would read them all by the time I died. So, Yeah, there's a lot of reading involved. All right. But one of the dumber ideas I've had, mind you, I'm not a religious man, is a blog called The Daily Word. And the Daily Word would be the Bible. It turns out in the old tradition, the rabbi used to take the Bible and he would lay it out. It was scrolls. We use scrolls. Two sticks, and the scroll is between them. And one stick rolls one way to open it, the other stick rolls the other way, and that's how you kept the book closed and safe. But the rabbi, he had a pointing stick, and he would point at the Torah, and he would read a passage and copy it. And he was supposed to do this every year. Every year he would do this and create a new copy. And the thing about the Torah, if you look at Bibles, is that there is actually a section for you to record marriages, births, and deaths. So every son or mother, okay, with Hebrew, it's the line goes through the female. So every daughter, I believe, would have to have her Bible to start a family. And yes, this Bible could be inherited from the elder, but if you had two daughters and you only got one, you need another one. And that's how they recorded who was born and who was dead and all those sorts of things. It was not, I mean, the records were kept at the synagogue, but every family had their own records so that if they moved or they could go to the new synagogue and be like, okay, this is who we are. And it's very important to we Jews because, of course, we have very much been a nomadic people through history. You know, we've been forced to new places all the time. Our genetic history has been forcibly destroyed. And that's just one of those things is that, you know, if I were a wealthy man, I would probably, you know, get a Torah. I would, you know, get a Torah for each one of my offspring if I had any, and do this. So, you know, this tradition of reading the Bible every year, reading the Torah every year, is of a Hebrew nature, but it is common in Christianity. In fact, there are Bibles that you can buy that have a list of every passage you're supposed to read for every day of the year. 365 days. Therefore, being a person who has read the Bible every year. A Christian and a Jew, I don't know about a Muslim. I do believe Muslims are supposed to read their Quran every day, would have this knowledge of the Bible because they read it every day. It is this present and powerful connection with the Scriptures. Now again, mind you, I have never been very religious. My mother was too sick to take me to temple as a child. My father was a member of many different religions over his lifetime, none of which I ever believe were actually Judaism, and he would take me to whatever church. But here was this idea that people should probably know what's in the Bible. If for no other reason than we have politicians that say, if you want to know what I think, read the Bible. Okay, that's a little scary, be honest with you, because the Bible has a lot of stuff in it. And there are different versions. And, you know, those versions may not say the same thing. So one of the ideas I had at one point, and I've been kicking it around in my head, is to create a blog where I take the Bible and I give you the daily scriptures that you're supposed to read. And then, of course, if I did that, I would also go out there and probably create YouTube shorts that give you the daily scriptures. And I would have to ask myself, if I did this, what channel would I put that on of my 6? And if I did put it on a channel, should it be one of the 6 or should it be its own? Now, you've got this channel, which is my personal channel, not appropriate. I would be saying that I have this relationship with the scriptures. I am not a Christian. This is to be done with the Christian Bible. The Torah has a weekly reading. I could put this on my channel because of my heritage, but I could not put this on my channel. I could not put the Bible on my channel because it's not part of my heritage. Yes, my family is Mormon, but they would have the Book of Mormon. And even Mormons say that, no, you should follow teachings of Brigham Young. So the exact book you would do this for with the Mormons, I don't know. But the Book of Mormon does not have the prevalence in our society. So that's that question. I mean, you look at my channels. I currently have 3 channels that are uploading. I have this channel, I have Random Street Theater, and I have Letters to Cassie and other folks. Okay. I then have Richard's Word of the Day, Fat Man Getting Fit, and Richard Reviews Children's Books. Okay. None of these are religiously themed. If I had to pick one of the 6 channels, it would be Richard's Word of the Day, because it would fall into the theme, at least a little, in the daily word. And I would be able to take vocabulary words from the Bible, or from the translations of the Bible, and put them into that. But if I then said, you know what, the daily word needs to be its own channel, what would I use for long-form content? Would I interview priests? Would I interview politicians? What would I do? Would I go to various churches and film sermons? I don't know. I mean, if you look at me, I'm a man who's trying to make the world better. And education in general is something that makes the world better. I believe we should all know what's in the Bible because it has something to do with our lives. We're Americans, and our political complex has become very biblical, particularly with certain states. So when somebody says, I believe in the Bible, I want to pull out my Bible and say, okay, what about this? What about that? I want you to prove to me that you know the Bible. I want the morality that is projected in the Bible to have a meaning and understanding for me. Because, you see, here's the thing. We Jews tend to focus on love and life and forgiveness. And Christians tend to focus on the Old Testament, which is our part of the Bible. So we Jews have seen the harshness of life, and what we practice is more like what Jesus preached than what a Christian tends to practice. Remember, we're the only Jewish nation in the world. Okay, there's only one of them, Israel, is a nation of inclusion. Anybody can become an Israeli. So long as you don't show up and try to take over the country, you can become an Israeli. You got to live there for 4 years, but you can do it, all right? Okay? And, Israel recognizes gay marriage. They say that Tel Aviv, the political capital of Israel, is the capital of homosexuality for the Middle East. It is the most accepting city in all the Middle East for homosexuals. Okay? It's just one of those things that you've got to understand about. We're people that believe in love and forgiveness. It's you can hate the sin but love the sinner. If you're a priest and you believe that, you can't ostracize people for being gay. You can't say, no, you can't be gay. You have to say, you know what? Doesn't matter who you are. God loves you, and I'm going to give you guidance, but I'm not going to condemn you, because judge not lest ye be judged. Judge not lest ye be judged. That's one of those things. You don't judge people. Okay? That is a Christian idea. It is in the New Testament. It is a Christian concept, but it is being practiced far more strictly in Jerusalem or Tel Aviv or other places in Israel than it is in places in America. So, it's this interesting thing, this interesting dynamic, is that the people who do not include the New Testament in their faith are actually closer in action to the New Testament? So that's a question I have for you. Should I create a blog where you have a daily Bible reading? Should I translate that into a YouTube channel? And if I do, what would be the long-form content for that blog? Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for having a drink with me. I'm Richard.
Danger Ducky says, this is your magic moment. A moment for you to do something that is good for the world. You can comment, like, and subscribe, because for every 1,000 subscribers this channel gets, they will buy one of these bracelets I am wearing. Each one of these bracelets I am wearing means that one pound of trash will be removed from the ocean. Cleaning the ocean is an expensive thing to do, and we need your help, so don't be trash. Comment, like, and subscribe, and get trash out of the ocean.